Right then, lads and lasses, how we're doing, and welcome back to the channel. Newcastle United finally returned back to Premier League action after what feels like a very long time. Of course, our last Premier League game obviously was that fantastic 3-2 win at the City Ground against Nottingham Forest. Bruno Guimaraes putting out an absolute masterclass. But this weekend, Saturday 3 PM, we have Bournemouth. It's basically our bogey team right now. We haven't beat them in the last 3 times, of course. A 1-1 draw at their ground and our ground last season. We got beat 2-0 at the Vitality Stadium in arguably one of the worst performances from Newcastle this season. We had no striker. We were so injury ridden, but the complete performance in itself, I don't think there was any motivation or sort of progression from the players in that game whatsoever. We did play them in the AFL Cup as well last season. We only won at home via an own goal. So Bournemouth are definitely going to be a very hard team to beat. Of course, the team that we are linked with for every single player in the transfer window: Philip Billen, Dominic Solanke, Lloyd Kelly, the list goes on. So it definitely is going to be a very hard game for Newcastle United. We'll take a look at the statistics between the two teams, how they're doing this season, and of course where we can really beat Bournemouth. And we've got some news as well, and some injury news. Without further ado, people, let's get into it. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Of course, it's a match preview, and honestly, I love doing the match previews, me. I really do. So if you enjoy the match preview as much as me, please smash the like button. I really do appreciate, yet again, it sends it out to so many people, and it just shows YouTube that I'm doing a pretty much good job. So if you do enjoy it, please smash the like button. I really do appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new around here, of course, for every single Newcastle United news, and you can expect a match day vlog, and you really have been loving the match day vlogs. I do appreciate that as well, because I love making them. I love sort of like just travelling about and making them as well. But you can also become a member of the channel down below, so do that if you'd like, and I'd really appreciate it. So without further ado, before getting into the match preview, ladies and gents, we've got some news on Dan Ashworth. Of course, there's been this big sort of build-up that he's going to Man United, and it really has heated up, like I said in the last video, the Newcastle news one about Dan Ashworth to Man United, that it's come to fruition in the last 12 to 24 hours, and it seriously has. This morning, at 9:15, Fabrizio Romano, arguably the most reliable journalist that there is over... He's got millions of followers, let's just put it like that, on Twitter. He said Dan Ashworth has already said yes to a move to Manchester United. Now, personally, I didn't see that coming. I thought he was going to stay in Newcastle. Like I said, when he first come here, he said he wanted to build a project, he wanted to be a part of this, but he doesn't really have all the power, does he? Eddie Howe wants to be the man in the middle of absolutely everything. But more on this, he said he's prepared to accept their proposal, and it's considered a big opportunity and a big project to go to Manchester United. As we know, they are getting bought by the Qataris, so they're going to be, as much as I hate to say it, a very big powerhouse very soon. It also says at the bottom, they understand that Manchester United want Dan Ashworth right now. Now, the beneficial thing for Newcastle United, just before we get into the match preview, of course, is that if Man United want Dan Ashworth, they are going to have to pay us a compensation fee of £6 million. And even when they do pay that, Dan Ashworth has a gardening leave, which if you unknown of what gardening leave means, it basically means that he has to stay in Newcastle for a certain amount of time, and that certain amount of time is 1 whole year that he has to stay in Newcastle, and then they have to pay £6 million. So look, for a sporting director for such an attractive club like Newcastle United, we can go out and get anyone and get £6 million for Dan Ashworth. And I've seen some fans say, well, I'm not bothered, I don't know what he does, I don't know what a sporting director does. Look, you can say that all you want. Is it going to massively impact us? Absolutely not, but he knows exactly what he's doing. The youth he's brought in, Anthony Gordon, Tino Livramento, Lewis Hall, a very talented lad. We haven't seen the best of him though. Jan Kubamenda, who's smashing it out on loan, and then the younger lads like Trayvan Sanusi, Leo Shahar in the youth academy. So he's done a very big job there. And Alfie Harrison, of course, I was going to say Adam Harrison there. He's done a very good job on the youth sort of candidates. So it's going to be a big blow if he goes in, especially to Manchester United as well. But without further ado, of course, away from the sort of news, you've come here for the match preview. So the match preview is what you're going to get. Now, going into this game, are we going to see an actual striker play? As we know, Callum Wilson got injured in the Nottingham Forest game with a pectoral injury. Honestly, these injuries are just becoming more ridiculous by the day. I've never seen a season where one team has had so many injuries as much as us. I think we could put out nearly a team and a half full of injuries that we've had this season, and that's not even including the same player twice as well. As we know, Callum Wilson did get a pectoral injury at the end of the Nottingham Forest game, that little clash when you you seen him hold his actual pec. Of course, he's sort of boob, if you don't know what a pectoral muscle is. You seen him hold it at the end of the game, and he looked like in a bit of pain, and he put his arm in his shirt as a sort of carrier. So we don't actually know any sort of news if he's going to be fit for tomorrow, as of course I'm recording this on the Thursday. The Fridays when the injury news do come out, follow me on Instagram for them. I give them out straight away as soon as they come out. But could we see Alexander Isak playing a return back from injury? Of course, he got injured the game before the Nottingham Forest one. Could we see him come back? Not the game before that one, sorry. He got injured in the clash away at Aston Villa. The thing is with Alexander Isak, when I went down to the training ground for the vlog, just a couple of days after that, after he got injured, of course, he was seen training one-on-one. So fingers crossed, Eddie Howe's been getting his fitness back up to play for this game. And of course, Jacob Murphy, who, funnily enough, just our luck, in the it wasn't the Aston Villa game, was it the Nottingham Forest game? He got injured in the warm-up. Someone just shoot one now, honest to God, what are these injuries, man? But Jacob Murphy, he wasn't usable against Nottingham Forest, like I said, because he got injured in the warm-up. So fingers crossed he's available for this game. Many people write him off, but honestly, any addition is a good addition. And Jacob Murphy as well, who I think is very, very underrated. Now, of course, Newcastle United versus Bournemouth. We are 7th in the league now. In between 7th or 6th and 10th, it's an absolute dogfight. Manchester United, who are 5 points ahead of us, they're getting pretty clear of us at the minute. I don't really want to say it because I despise them. But just below us, West Ham, who are, of course, 8th. They are 1 point behind us. Then below that, it's Brighton, who are 2 points behind us. And then below that, it's Chelsea. West Ham are on the same points. Brighton are 1 point behind. And then it's Chelsea, who are 2 points behind us in 10th. So that little 7th to 10th is a complete dogfight. It's not realistically where we want to be, Newcastle United, but with all the stuff we've been hit with, it's probably a pretty good place to be in right now. 7th, of course, gets us Europe. Honestly, the change it every single season with like Europa Conference League drops down, Champions League goes to 5th, so I'm not clued up exactly who does get the sort of Europe spots, but Newcastle United 7th right now, I'll absolutely take that. And it sounds a bit daft to say, but of course this game is a must-win game, as is every single Premier League game. But we need to pick up every single point that we can in this sort of middle ground dogfight. Of course, as it stands right now, 5th does get Champions League. Do I think Newcastle United will get Champions League right now? Look, Aston Villa's on a bit of bad form. Man United, they're getting a bit better, but they're still very, very shaky. For the money that they've spent, you'd expect them to be winning Champions Leagues. But I don't think we could get Champions League right. But still, look, we'll get this 3 points today. We'll keep getting the 3 points. You never know where the season could end up. Many teams could fall off. All we have to worry about is winning these games ourselves. Like we said, but Newcastle United as well, our home form, of course, it's St James's Park. Every team is going to be very, very sort of scared going in at this game. It's going to be very anticipated for them. Don't sort of take in all the crowd, because the crowd will get on top of you, they'll swallow you up and they'll eat you up. That's not us being arrogant. It's just knowing that we have arguably the best fan base in England. I wouldn't say the UK, because Rangers and Celtic are a whole new kettle of fish. They are absolutely unbelievable, them too. But of course, right now we are 6th for home form. Not where we'd like to be for St James's Park. Of course, last season, did we lose like... How many games? I forgot how many games we lose there. Was it like 3? Or was it even... I can't exactly remember how many we've lost. But of course, we have already lost 3 this season out of a possible 11, I believe it is. No, I think it's 12 actually. We've won 8 games. Yes, we've won 8 games. We've drew 1 and we've lost 3. That is an unbelievable record, right? But for Newcastle United, it's not exactly what we'd like, if you know what I mean. We think we should be going in every single game. When you look at the games that we've lost to Nottingham Forest. We beat them in their ground. They absolutely outplayed us at St James's Park. We can't put that past them. Man City, we lost to the best team in the world, arguably, in the last second. Liverpool, the less said about that game, the better. Honest to God, we'll never beat them in a million years. We just can't get one over on them. But home form, it's going to be a very big worry for Bournemouth, because, of course, their away form, it actually is pretty decent, to be fair. And speaking of away form for Bournemouth, they went in this sort of, I think they went unbeaten for 8 games as a whole. They beat Manchester United 3-0 in that run of form at Old Trafford as well, which isn't that very hard. We won there with our D team. They beat Newcastle in that run of form. They've done very, very good, but in the last 5 games, they haven't got a singular win. It's looking a bit cheeky for Bournemouth. It's when vice versa. When we went to Bournemouth, we were on horrible form. We had terrible injuries. Now that Bournemouth's come to us, they are on very bad form, and they've got a fair few injuries. We'll take a look at that just in a second. But as I was touching up, Bournemouth, just form in general this season, they sit 13th in the Premier League. Not too bad for Bournemouth whatsoever. And many people will just say, well, look, Bournemouth are just here to roll over for Newcastle. Like I said, with the previous results, we haven't beat them in the last... Wait, we've beaten them once in the last 4 sort of meetings with Bournemouth in the EFL Cup. We haven't beaten them in the Premier League for the last 3 visits. But in the EFL Cup, we're only won at home due to an own goal. So it kind of is a bogey team, of course, Eddie Howe's old team. I'll give you a score prediction in just a second. But honestly, I think we actually will struggle a lot more than we actually think that we should. But moving on to the injuries, which I was just talking about for Bournemouth, then I'll give you a score prediction. James Hill, who you might not know about, who the hell is James Hill? He's actually been a pretty decent right back for them. I think he's pretty young as well. Very, very good right back, actually. Another right back out for them in Max Aarons. Another right back out for them in Ryan Fredericks. It's Adam Smith, who I don't know, I forgot his exact position, but actually he might be a right back, but he's of course not their first choice right back, which is another area of exploitation for Newcastle United, and they've got Philip Billen out, who got a red card and was suspended for 3 games, so this is his 3rd game. He can't play against Newcastle United, who of course we've just been linked with them, as we are with every single Bournemouth player. Honestly, I don't know about you, but I swear to God, Bournemouth, if there was a team, yeah, obviously you wouldn't support, but I feel like Bournemouth is our little sort of brother team in the Premier League. The Eddie Howe links, the Matt Ritchie links, the Callum Wilson links. Honestly, I think that our little brother, you know, the harmless, they're on the south coast. I've got a couple of good mates who support Bournemouth who I'm going to meet. You'll see that on the match day vlog. I really, really do like Bournemouth, and apart from this game, I wish them all the best. Well, in this game, may the best team win. But for the rest of the season, I wish them all the best, of course. I do wish, and I can guarantee they will stay up this season, of course. But they're a very nice team, very humble fans. And for a final score prediction, you get yours down below of what you think this game is going to end up. But Newcastle United, look, they have done very, very good against us in the last 4 sort of meetings with us. I still think we will get the win. I genuinely do think we'll get the win. I don't want to see it pretty easily because it's St James's Park. We've been shocked. Of course, Luton, Nottingham Forest, we cannot count them out. And what I don't like from Newcastle is when we're going to these games with, look, all due respect to Bournemouth, I don't want to sort of disrespect you, but with the SOA, look, Bournemouth isn't a sort of massive team, is it? When you play against Bournemouth, Newcastle, sometimes we just think the players are like, oh, we're at St James's Park, we'll win this game anyways, just take it lightly, lads, don't go for them too much. And then Nottingham Forest, Luton, these teams just end up, in Liverpool for example, they had 10 men down and they were going uphill at St James's Park. They just come back and absolutely smash. It's a smash and grab from Liverpool. Nottingham Forest, Luton wasn't really a smash and grab. They honestly took the game, and it was some fair play at them as well. Honestly, I'm really, really rooting for Luton this season. Fantastic fans, and they're doing themselves really proud. But we cannot count Bournemouth out this game because they can just go and get a goal like that. Our defence has been pretty poor this season, and the catalyst for that, as I said on the talk show that I was just on a couple of days ago with the Loaded Mag, no real protection of the back 4. That's what it is. But for a final score prediction, like I said, you get yours down below. I'm going to go Newcastle United 3, AFC Bournemouth 2. I don't know about this game, you know. I think Bournemouth will get a goal or 2. I think Dominic Solanke might get one because I think he scored. Yes, he did score against us at the Vitality Stadium this season in their 2-0 win. Did he score 2? I'm not actually sure. He might have. That's just off the top of my head. But I do really fancy Newcastle's chances in this game, as do the majority of Newcastle United fans. Marcus Tavernier returns to home. He was given a big to us Newcastle United fans at the Vitality. Fingers crossed we'll send him home packing. But honestly, all the best to Bournemouth. Really, really do respect you. Best for the season. But thank you very much. This has been the match preview for Newcastle United versus Bournemouth. I don't know if there'll be a video tomorrow. Of course, that just depends on the sort of news with Newcastle United. Maybe Dan Ashworth's fully agreed to go to Man United. We never know. But of course, expect a fantastic match day vlog. Honestly, the numbers on them are absolutely flying. They're flying in the thousands, tens of thousands, and I really, really do appreciate it, because that's all I want to do, lads. I just want to create content about Newcastle United. So from you liking, subscribing, sharing, buying a membership, honestly, whatever, I can upgrade the mic, the camera, the better quality of the videos, the further that we both go, and it's all I want to do. So thank you very much. Like if you did enjoy the video, subscribe if you haven't already. I've been Josh. Go and enjoy your day, people.